Hello. Let's continue with the theme that we touched upon yesterday. And I was just reflecting on that. We discussed about perceptions, we discussed about beliefs and attitudes. So I thought today let me share some stories about each one of them so that we get a little more clarity about it. So first one was perception. And what is very important about perceptions is that perceptions must change, and they do change. Both things are very important, and that will happen only when you listen to others, when you reflect on, when you absorb the information that you receive from others. That's when perceptions shift. And over a period of time, you must have experienced that your perceptions have changed about various things. So the story that goes is this. There was a person who was driving a cab, and there was a passenger who got into that. So after going certain distance, the passenger taps on the shoulder of the driver from the back and says, how much more time will it take to reach the destination? And the moment he tapped the shoulder of the driver, there was a sudden jerk in the driving, the style of driving, and he was kind of trying to control the vehicle, going this side, going that side. And after a little chaos like this, the vehicle ultimately stopped. Now the person who was the passenger, he was literally shocked. What has happened suddenly? Apparently the driver was looking normal. So what has happened suddenly that things went out of control? And when they stopped, they breathed a little bit, and then he asked, what happened to you? He said, sir, the problem is not with you. The problem is that till yesterday, I was driving a vehicle which used to take dead bodies. And today is my first day of driving a cab. And the moment you touched my shoulder, I was still in my earlier experiences that I'm having dead body at the back, and I felt as if a dead body has suddenly got up, and that's what came back to me, and that's why all this happened. I'm so sorry for that. So like this, we are changing our roles and responsibilities, and with those changes, are you changing your perceptions or not? You have dealt with your people in a certain way so far, but now you have gone up in a leadership position. Is your outlook of dealing with people undergoing a change or not? So perceptions can change, they do change, and they must change. That's the message here. Second thought that I discussed with you yesterday was about beliefs. So there's a story that I read about a girl. She was studying in +2, and she wanted to be a doctor. And looking at her academic performance, her parents said, you perhaps will not be able to get into medical, so it's good that you continue your study on other subjects. Pick up some other subject and study. And she said, no, I want to take a drop for 1 year. I want to prepare for medical, and I will do that. Ultimately, parents agreed. So she was admitted into one of the best coaching institutes for medical entrance exam. And as I said earlier, academically, she was not a very brilliant student. So what happened? As those tests used to take place, as she used to answer questions in the classroom, it was becoming quite evident that she is very low on her performance. And anyone who is aspiring to be a medical student undergoing coaching in one of the best coaching institutes will start getting ridiculed. And that's what started happening with her. So much so that even the teachers started ridiculing her because of her marks or kind of questions she used to ask. And this is what was happening. Now, some of her friends always used to say, hey, don't feel bad about it, let it happen. And And every time something like this used to happen, she would say to them, why should I feel bad? I know that I'll be able to do it. I have a very strong belief in myself. I know that I'll be able to do it. And as she continued, every next test, her performance steadily started rising. And cutting the long story short, the entrance exam day came. She was very well prepared. Looking at the paper, she had an instant understanding that she'll be able to do it quite well. And when the results came after some time, she was rank 3 in all India. And but look at the beauty of that girl. She remained as humble as ever. She attributed her success to her parents who allowed her to pursue her dream. She attributed her success to the teachers who were teaching in that coaching institute. And the last, she took the pride that I had belief in myself. That's why I was able to do it. So that's what a belief can do to your performance. The last one is attitudes. There's a very interesting real incident of our country from the world of cricket. You know both these names, Sachin and Kambli. When they came into cricket world, who was better? We all know that Kambli was better. And the kind of scores he had in the beginning were just amazing. Double centuries and centuries, all that was happening. And the whole world kind of started taking him as the next hero of Indian cricket. And when they went for the series in West Indies, Kambli was not able to handle the kind of bouncers and the pitches that were there. Sachin was also not able to handle that. But when they came back, Sachin started working on the weaknesses that he noticed about himself. Kambli was not able to handle that. And we now, means again, one is Bharat Ratna and one is just searching for his identity. This is what attitude makes a difference. How do you handle situations? How do you bounce back? What's your attitude towards learning and growing? That's what all makes the difference. I hope I was able to bring some clarity to these three concepts: perceptions, beliefs, and attitude.